Good morning. I'm actually not here to talk about some hypothetical and improbable moment in the future when Vermont is an independent republic, but rather what we can do today to change our Vermont monetary system so that it serves the needs of all of us rather than the very small minority that owns it. This is all about financial systems in Vermont and new banking systems and exchange systems in Vermont that can work. We need to redefine wealth to do that, and I don't have time to describe all the ways that that works, so I'm hoping that you'll buy my book, which I wrote last year, and with Bernard Liotard, that describes how we need to redefine wealth so that it's not just the accumulation of money, but rather how we meet all of our human needs with the exchanges that we offer. We also need to understand how wealth is created. As long as we're buying into the money paradigm, we think wealth is created when money is created. But in fact, wealth is created when we find new ways to meet all of our needs as human beings and as nature. So understanding wealth creation is a big part of understanding money. So what is money exactly? As Amy said before, if you look in any economics textbook, they tell you it's a unit of account, a means of exchange, a store of value. But in fact, money is an agreement. It's an agreement we all make about using something for these functions. And agreements can change. Agreements are the same universe as marriages and contracts, and 5 minutes after they invented marriage, they invented divorce. How is money created? That's another thing most people don't understand. They think the government printing press does it. Who here thinks the government prints money? Good. Nobody, because it's not true. Since the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, banks are the ones that create money by issuing debt. All money comes into existence through the issuance of debt. And that burden of debt actually is what is driving our economy into the ground. Who benefits from this money creation? Well, we think the government does it, so we think we all benefit from it, but in fact, a very small minority of people benefit from it, the shareholders of banks and the institutions of finance, and these are all the different impacts of that debt-based money, which again, I don't have time to describe to you in detail, but you need to understand that money is the reason that the 1% exists. So if we're looking to demystify how money is created and what wealth is, we need to understand what the alternatives are. We've heard a few people already this morning speak about alternatives, and there are many that are underway right here in Vermont. We are looking at trying to develop a new way of making exchanges with each other in the new economy so that the people that control the money system don't control all of our wealth and all of our well-being. Right now, on the global scale, we have a monetary monoculture. That means this bank debt form of money we're using is universal and worldwide. And like any monoculture, it's very fragile. If the banking system goes awry, the entire system comes crashing down around our ears, as we saw back in 2008 with the bank crisis. What we need instead is an ecosystem of currencies, a robust system where we use different kinds of currencies for different human needs. And right here in Vermont, we've started creating that ecosystem with the Onion River Exchange here in central Vermont, with the Reach Care Bank that we received a $1 million federal grant to create. They are good for something. And the food currency that we're working on now. The Care Bank is an elder care system funded by the U.S. Administration on Aging that uses time as a means of exchange instead of money. It's a way for our elders to get better care right here without using money. And the good news is that these time banks and care banks are tax exempt. So that means people can raise their standard of living without jeopardizing their federal benefits, without jeopardizing the food stamps and the housing subsidies that they get. This is a very important thing for anti-poverty programs and a very important piece of work here in central Vermont, and it needs your support. If you live here, join them. The federal funding is running out at the end of the month. Another very important system that was deployed by my colleague in Brazil is an education currency where people earn education credits for tutoring their peers. So younger children tutor even younger children and earn credits that they can exchange when they get to college age for their college education instead of going into debt for it. Another system that's been developed in Europe is a wellness token system where people earn tokens or points when they engage in wellness activities, and they can trade those tokens in to lower their cost of health insurance and lower their cost of medical care. This is a much better system than penalizing people for unhealthy behavior. Of course, as Amy spoke about, here in Vermont, we have a commercial barter system that she has developed, yay Amy, that allows businesses to make exchanges without using money. This helps stabilize the economy because those exchanges can help businesses stay in business even when the economy takes a downturn. The same system has been in existence in Switzerland for 70 years. Here in central Vermont, again, we're working on a food currency, which would use food as the store of value instead of debt or gold or other commodities. The system's still under development, and I'm looking for an entrepreneur who thinks it'd be a great idea to drive a food storage market here in Vermont. So if you're interested, please get in touch with me. Of course, the Vermont Monetary Policy Advisory Group, which I founded last year, has been lobbying the state legislature to do a study about what the establishment of a state bank would do for Vermont's economy. If you're interested in joining in that effort and learning how North Dakota operates in the black through the existence of a state bank, again, get in touch with me. But even if all of these things seem beyond you, the least you can do is move your money out of the big banks that are too big to fail and into our local credit unions like Matt talked about. That is an empowering local Vermont resource that helps all of us make ends meet and doesn't necessarily foreclose on people wholesale like the big national banks do. If you are interested in working on a local community solution, there is this book, which you can download for free from the web, or I have a few for sale here. It gives you a step-by-step guide for implementing a local complementary currency in your community. I've worked on this issue for a long time, and I really believe that it's hard to take sustainability and economic change seriously unless you understand the monetary system and start working to change the monetary system. It is at the root of why we have the 90% and the 1%, and it's what needs to change if we're going to be hopeful about a new economy here in Vermont. Thank you very much.